Hello, my name's Kayla, this is Cinnamon the Score Bunny, and today we're going to be looking at all the currently revealed new Pokemon that are going to be in Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet. This video is going to focus on the basic Pokemon only, so Sprigatito, Fuecoco, Quaxly, Pawmi, Lechonk, and Smoliv. I'll talk about Koraidon and Miraidon in a future video. I'm going to be looking at what it says on the website as well as some hints from the trailer to see if we can figure out some things that they haven't revealed yet for these Pokemon. And I'm also going to give you my opinions on them because they're adorable. Let's start off, of course, with the starters. Sprigatito is, of course, my starter of choice because I am a huge fan of cats. The website says, capricious and attention-seeking, it may sulk if it sees its trainer giving attention to a Pokemon other than itself. So basically, it's the Pokemon version of my kitten. Let's keep in mind that it likes to seek attention. It says that Sprigatito is going to have a kneading move that releases a sweet aroma. Here's a quick video of a cat kneading so that you know kind of what that looks like. It's interesting that they specify that this is specifically going to be a move, meaning that it's going to have a name. It's going to be something that we actually are able to do in battle. I'm not sure exactly what the incapacitated effect for this will be. I'm thinking it'll probably be like attract, but it could potentially hint at a new status condition. The website says that Sprigatito's fur has a similar composition to plants, allowing it to absorb sunlight and use that as energy, which makes me think that it might even have a healing move like Morning Sun. With it being a grass type that can add status conditions and heal, I see this as potentially a really tricky Pokemon for competitive, and I'm really liking its playstyle. I personally really enjoy playing with Pokemon that have more complex strategies around them. Like, I was a huge Klefki fan back in the day. Fuecoco is an interesting one because its dex entry seems to suggest that it's kind of slow and laid back, but if it sees food, it will move really quickly. I'm wondering if that's going to be implemented in any sort of mechanical way or if that's just kind of for flavor. Like Sprigatito, whose fur absorbs sunlight, Fuecoco's scales absorb heat. But I don't think, based on the other information here, that it's going to use that energy to heal like I think for Sprigatito. This is mostly because it says that Fuecoco is overflowing with fire energy. We can even see it with the top of its head flickering and glowing. And it even says that when it gets excited, its head spouts more flames. I think rather than having like a healing absorption power, Fuecoco is gonna have something where it absorbs energy and then unleashes that energy. Of all the starter designs, I definitely think that Fuecoco's is the most interesting. I feel like it's pulling inspiration from a lot of different potential sources, but until we see its evolutions, I think it's gonna be hard to pinpoint exactly what those sources are. Like, obviously it's somewhat based on crocodiles because of Coco, but then it's also got this almost like solar panel features to it, and it also really likes food, so some people are saying maybe it's like ghost pepper. There's just a lot of different inspirations going into one for Fuecoco. It even has like a volcano kind of thing with the fire sprouting on top of its head. So I think until we see its evolutions, it's gonna be kind of tricky to figure out where this one's gonna go. I don't dislike Quaxly, but it is my least favorite of the three starters. Sorry, Quaxly fans. I just know too much about how ducks work to think that the information around it is cute. It says that it's a very serious and tidy Pokemon, so that's good. But then it talks about how it's always glossy because of this gel that's secreted by its feathers. Real life ducks also have this kind of gel, and it's not as cute. It's not as good. Don't look it up. You won't be happy about it. The website says that Quaxly has really strong legs and then it frequently kicks its opponents. I think this might be alluding to it becoming a water fighting type. Even though Quaxly is my least favorite of the starters right now, I am curious to see what it's gonna evolve into. It seems like it has the most humanoid features, so I'm a little bit worried about what it might evolve into. It could turn into something really cool if they steer away from the human elements. The website says that Nemona has a Pawmi, Lechonk, and Smoliv. Based on my theory about Nemona, I have a feeling that these three Pokemon are going to incorporate some really interesting strategies. First of all, there's Pawmi. Interestingly, it has the ability Static, which can cause paralysis on contact. It can also have the ability Natural Cure, where all status conditions heal when the Pokemon switches out. These are both really good abilities, and I can definitely see Nemona making use of them. I'm not sure if her Pawmi will have Static or Natural Cure, but I could definitely see Nemona devising a strategy around its ability. In terms terms of my opinion on it, I think it's super cute because its little toe beans are so small. Now on to the internet's new favorite Pokemon, Lechonk. Lechonk is a normal type, and so far it's not clear if it's gonna gain another typing when it evolves. Lechonk also has two interesting possible abilities, Aroma Veil and Gluttony. Aroma Veil especially is very interesting because so far that's only been a hidden ability for 4 Pokemon. No Pokemon so far has had this as their regular ability. Lechonk is actually the first one to have it like this. Aroma Veil allows Lechonk to protect itself and its allies from attacks that limit their move choices. Specifically, this includes Taunt, Torment, Encore, Disable, as well as Curse Body, Heal Block, and Infatuation. There's 2 interesting things about this that I want to point out. First is that I think that Lechonk might actually be almost a counter to Sprigatito, since it seems like Sprigatito is going to use moves like that in order to incapacitate its enemies. Also, if we find out that Nemona's Lechonk has this ability, I think that makes it pretty likely that we're going to be able to do double battles with her at our side. Aroma Veil is more useful in double battles because it protects not only Lechonk, but also the Pokemon that's fighting alongside it. It is possible though that Lechonk will have its other ability, which is Gluttony. A Pokemon with Gluttony is able to eat certain berries earlier, so instead of when it drops to 25%, it would eat that berry when it drops to 50%. This is a useful ability because a lot of the berries triggered by it raise the Pokemon's stats. It's not super useful to have your stats raised if you're about to die. Gluttony allows Pokemon like Lechonk to make much more effective use of these berries. Other than its abilities, we find out that Lechonk has an herb-like aroma around it, and bug Pokemon apparently dislike that smell. I'm curious which bug Pokemon specifically, since they didn't specify, and also if we're going to be able to see this interaction in the overworld, because how funny would it be to have a Lechonk walking along and then bug Pokemon just scatter away. Bringing a Lechonk into a forest would basically be like using Repel. I don't realistically think they're gonna code that in, but a girl can dream, right? It also says that if Lechonk is startled, it will charge forward in a panic. I think we're more likely to see this in the overworld than the other interaction. Imagine you sneak up on it, and instead of it running away, it charges at you like, ah, like, that would be so funny. I also really like that its body is pure muscle, even though it's round and cute. I'm wondering if it's gonna evolve into a really buff pig. I kind of hope not, but I don't know. I guess we'll see. In terms of my opinion on Lechonk, I think it is one of the funniest Pokemon that has ever been created. I'm not in the group of people that thinks it's like super cute or anything. I just think it's really funny. Another thing, Lechon is Spanish for piggy, but if you've been on Twitter or the internet pretty much lately, you probably already know that. Its name is literally like Chonky Piggy. Like Lechonk, Smoliv has an adorable name. Like, it's literally like small olive. Interestingly, its type is grass normal, though I have a feeling this is gonna change when it evolves. It has the ability Early Bird, which allows it to awaken from sleep twice as fast. It makes sense that Smoliv would be a light sleeper because it seems like a pretty timid Pokemon. Despite looking kind of like a berry, you definitely don't want to eat a Smoliv. The oil that comes out of its head is extremely bitter and should not be eaten. The fact that Smoliv contains this bitter oil and looks like an olive is especially interesting. As I hinted at earlier, I think it's definitely possible that Smoliv is going to be given a secondary typing other than normal. Because it contains this olive oil substance, it's possible that it could be our first ever grass fire type. Olive oil is flammable, so we could see something related to that and how it attacks. Plus, because Nemona's name is associated with Odysseus, and Odysseus, being ancient Greek, is commonly associated with things like olives and Olympic torches, it makes sense that we might have this Pokemon evolve into some sort of olive oil torch. I think Smoliv is super cute and interesting, but I'm trying not to get too attached because Sprigatito is gonna be my grass type, and I probably shouldn't have 2 grass types on my team. So those are all the basic Pokemon in Scarlet and Violet. Which Pokemon is gonna be your starter? And do you want any of the other Pokemon on your team? Let me know in the comments. If you want to learn more about Nemona, check out this video. If this video gave you something to think about, make sure you give it a like and subscribe. Bye!